Hi, I am Colton, and we have a special guest, Landon, to talk about the NFL playoffs, Week 2.
We will begin by talking about the Detroit Lions versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers set to play at 3 p.m. Sunday. The Detroit Lions, by fan votes, are expected to win with a favorable 71% compared to Tampa Bay's 29% chance to win, according to the Fox Sports app.
Let's talk about it. So, the Detroit Lions already played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the season. The Detroit Lions won 20-6. Jared Goff threw 2 touchdowns and got 353 yards in passing and people caught 30 of his passes out of 44. Baker Mayfield, on the other hand, threw 1 interception, 0 touchdowns, 206 yards, 13 completions out of the 37 he threw. Then, if we look at their team stats, their total yards, Tampa Bay's was 251, Detroit was 380. Passing yards was 340 for the Detroit Lions and 205 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Rushing yards, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers actually did better than the Lions. The Detroit Lions got 40 yards and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got 46. Yards per play, the average was 5.5 for the Lions and 4.6. I really think that the Lions will probably win this one.
I also think the Lions are going to win because last week Jared Goff beat his former team and the former quarterback for Detroit Lions, Matthew Stafford. And this was very huge for not only the Lions but also Goff, since that team had betrayed him essentially, and now he got back at him. Also, I think we have some really good running backs. Yes, that Tampa Bay has a strong running defense, but I believe that Gibbs and Montgomery can still get through and win us the game.
I feel like the score is going to be close. I feel like it's going to be 30 to 24, the Detroit Lions.
I think just the Lions are going to win. I am a little bit worried, but I think they're definitely going to crush these Tampa's Bays. Next up, the Green Bay Packers versus the 49ers. The 49ers are favored to win with 79% compared to Green Bay's 21% chance to win, according to the Fox Sports app.
I feel like this is going to be a close game. Green Bay just destroyed the Cowboys. They absolutely took them out. I feel like the Cowboys got cocky and thought they were absolutely going to kill Green Bay. But the Cowboys absolutely got destroyed. Then, on the other hand, the 49ers. They didn't play a playoff game because they were the best in the NFL for the NFC. Those two teams did not play earlier in the season, so it's just going to be up to debate. I feel like the 49ers have the best chance to win. They've been the best all season for the NFC. The Packers, on the other hand, barely made it to the playoffs. They barely made an upset for the Cowboys. I feel like it's either going to be a blowout for the 49ers or a really close game and the 49ers are going to win.
I think I agree with you, Colton. However, I think Green Bay could win and pull it off because they didn't even expect to make it to the playoffs, and now they made it to the playoffs. They absolutely dominated Dallas last week, and now they're like, well, we've got nothing left to lose. Why? We didn't even expect to make it to the playoffs in the first place. And the 49ers, they haven't played in a while. And their quarterback, I believe he hasn't played now for 2 to 3 games because they already secured a spot. So he's really not conditioned right now and up to par for this playoff game. I do think it's going to be a close game, but I think Green Bay will be able to pull it off.
I feel like the final score will be, I feel like it's going to be a close game. I feel like it's going to be really close. I feel like it's going to be 14-10, the 49ers.
I think it's going to be 21-17 in favor of Green Bay. Next up, the Bills versus the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bills are expected to win just slightly with 57% compared to Kansas City's 43% chance to win.
The Bills played the Kansas City Chiefs earlier this season, and the Bills won 20-17. Josh Allen threw 1 interception. Patrick Mahomes threw an interception. Both got a touchdown. Josh Allen threw 233 yards. Patrick Mahomes threw 271. Patrick Mahomes threw 43 passes, and only 25 of them were caught. Josh Allen threw 42, and 23 of them were caught. Not the best stats that you want to have, but I know it was earlier in the season. I feel like the Kansas City Chiefs can pull it off. They got Patrick Mahomes. They've gone to the Super Bowl many times, and I just feel like they're gonna beat the Bills.
I think Kansas City is also going to win. The Bills and Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a great quarterback, but he seems to choke up, especially in the areas that he needs to win. And I think that's exactly what we're going to see because we've seen these two teams go against each other 3 to 4 times now in the playoff season, and Josh Allen and the Bills always seem to choke it. Right? Even when they have the lead, they always choke, and Kansas City just beats them. I think it's just going to be another one of those seasons where it's a curse, and the Bills are going to lose, and Kansas is going to win.
I feel like it's gonna be a close one. I feel like it's gonna be 30-33.
I don't really know. I don't care too much about these two teams, so I don't know the score. The next game is the Texans versus the Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are expected to win by 78% compared to Texas 22%, according to the Fox Sports app.
I feel like the Ravens are gonna win. They beat the Texans before in the season, 25-9. C.J. Stroud threw no interceptions, no touchdown. Lamar Jackson only threw 1 interception, 0 touchdowns too. C.D. Stroud threw 242 yards. Lamar Jackson threw 169 yards. C.D. Stroud threw 44 passes, and 28 of them were complete. Lamar Jackson threw 22 and completed 17. I know the Ravens' stats are a little weak. Lamar Jackson didn't throw that much that game. He didn't get those many yards, no touchdowns, threw an interception. But they still won the game. I feel like their rushing yards were good. I feel like they are going to do a lot in this game. I feel like it's going to be a close game or a huge blowout, and I feel like the Baltimore Ravens are going to either blow out the Texans or they're going to make this the closest game ever, and it's going to be a nail-biter one.
I think the Texans will end up actually beating the Ravens because the Ravens, I don't know. I just think C.J. Stroud is a really good rookie quarterback. He already broke a bunch of records for the rookie quarterbacks to make it to the playoffs. And Lamar Jackson, yes, he's a great quarterback, obviously, because the Ravens are the number one in the playoff picture for the AFC. However, I do think the Texans can pull it off because of watching the game last week with them against the Browns, and they just absolutely dominated the Browns. And then they also had to fight to get into the playoffs, so I just think that they're going to bring their A game and just take down those Ravens.
So now we are going to look at the NFL bracket to see who we think is going to make it to the Super Bowl. I will go first, and I will talk about the Detroit Lions versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like the Detroit Lions will advance and beat the Buccaneers, and then the San Francisco 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. I feel like if the 49ers do win, I feel like the 49ers are going to go to the Super Bowl. But if Green Bay can pull it off and beat the 49ers, I feel like the Lions are going to make it to the Super Bowl. The Lions did lose to the Packers on Thanksgiving, but we also did beat them earlier in the season. I feel like just the Lions can pull it off to make it to the Super Bowl if Green Bay beats the 49ers.
I disagree with you. I think the Lions will beat Tampa. And let's say Green Bay does lose to San Francisco. I believe that the Lions can beat San Francisco because the Lions have how many different weapons to use compared to San Francisco's 3 to 4 guys. They've got Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown, Laporta, and then Josh Reynolds can step up and make some plays when they need him to. And Montgomery, if I didn't say Montgomery. So you got 2 running backs who also can be used as receivers. and you got tight ends and wide receivers that can just catch the ball. And Jared Goff, as long as the offensive line holds and he's got no pressure, he can make 100% of his passes, just like he did with the LA Rams. I believe there's 20 passes he made with no pressure, and he made 100% of his passes. Now, when he gets pressured, on the other hand, though, his passes do drop. Now, I think he can beat San Francisco because I just believe they can. They have a lot more to gain than what they do to lose. The Lions have a lot more to gain than what they do to lose, so they're just going to bring their A game and take down San Francisco.
Now the AFC. I feel like the Kansas City are going to beat the Buffalo Bills like I talked about earlier. And I feel like the Baltimore Ravens are going to beat the Texans. I feel like the Baltimore Ravens are a young team. They're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And I feel like the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. I know the Kansas City Chiefs has what it takes. I just don't feel like they'll be able to.
If the Baltimore Ravens do end up beating the Texans and Kansas City does beat Buffalo, I'm going to say I think Kansas City's going to win because they have been in this position how many times now within the past few years. They know what these playoffs are like, and they know of the AFC Championship before. And Colton, you said that Baltimore's a very young team. Kansas City's been in here 3 to 4 times in the past 4 years, I want to say. So they've got a lot of experience to where this young Baltimore team has no experience. So what I'm thinking the Super Bowl is going to look like, it's going to look exactly how it did at the beginning of the year. The Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know exactly who's going to win that game, but I'm really hoping it's the Lions. And then it'd just be like how we started this season. Lions beating Kansas City.
Thanks for listening, and thank you for our guest, Landon.